Welcome to Life After Corporate, your ultimate guide for making the leap from corporate leader to entrepreneur. I'm Deb Boulanger, entrepreneur, executive leader, and founder of the Launch Lab for Women Entrepreneurs. This is your time to break through the glass ceiling once and for all and get your ticket to the C-suite. Come back each week to get the leading strategies, advice, and tools that will give you the skills and confidence you need to replace your corporate paycheck. Are you ready? Let's go. Welcome back to Life After Corporate, my friend. And if you are here for the very first time, welcome home. I'm your host, Deb Boulanger. And in this show, I promise you that you will get real, unvarnished, hype-free advice about what it really takes to make the leap from corporate to running your own business without any cookie-cutter formulas or inflated promises. I promise. I'm here and I am back to chat with you one-on-one about why most marketing fails and what you need to stop doing if you want your clients to start paying attention to you and lining up to do business with you. But before I dive in to why you need to ditch your avatar and other blasphemous concepts of marketing, I want to shout out to Diane Diaz for her amazing 5-star review of the podcast. Thank you, Diane. Diane says, thank you for bringing to light that there is life after corporate. I'm many years out of the corporate hamster wheel, and I know how soul-sucking it can feel. I love the advice you share about getting your first clients and not worrying about a fancy website or branding. I agree wholeheartedly. You share such important information and applicable tips and advice in the episode. So glad I found you. Diane, I'm thrilled that you found us too. Good for you, girl. You got to know how good it feels to be in control of your money, your time, and your impact. It is a wonderful thing. And I also discovered something else wonderful in the last couple of weeks, and it's Clubhouse. If you are on this relatively new social platform, please look me up. I'll be starting up the Life After Corporate Club pretty soon, where we can talk real time and have real conversations about the things that matter when you're making the leap from corporate and starting up your own business. I'll bring in some excellent co-hosts and invite you up to ask your questions and share what's working in your business real time. So how cool is that? I think it's super cool. I've been playing a little bit with Clubhouse the past couple of weeks. I started just by lurking because I'm kind of an introvert. I'm a little bit shy. I started lurking in some rooms there. There are some, huge names, all the big names, big millionaire coaches and consultants are all there. But they're also dropping gems of wisdom. And last night I tuned in and I got to hear Tina Chen. So if you don't know Tina Chen, she was part of the Obama administration. She was an advisor to the Obamas, and she was the founder of the Women and Girls Initiative. So it was so great to hear what was up with her and some crazy statistics about college women. Like 1 in 4 college women is likely to be sexually assaulted, and also the prevalence of sexual assault in the military for women in the military. So just interesting conversations about anything that interests you. You can raise your hand. You can hop onto the stage, ask questions of these people if they're opening up the stage. So anyway, look me up there. I am at Deb Boulanger. So you can search for me, find me there, follow me. And the most important thing you need to do in order to be alerted to when I'm hosting a new room or hosting a topic, I've already done a visibility lab. This week, we're doing a pricing and packaging lab. And I haven't started the Life After Corporate Club yet, but we will soon. In order to be invited to the amazing events that we're hosting there and jump into the conversation, follow me. So you want to click on the bell next to the follow button and click on always so that you will always get an alert when we've scheduled a room or go live. And I like to schedule rooms in advance so you can put it on your calendar and you can plan to be there. So let's jump back to the topic at hand, my friend, why you need to ditch your avatar and other blasphemes of marketing. According to a 2012 study by Harvard professor Shekhar Ghosh, he found that 75% of all startups fail. And if you've been to my webinars, you know I quote that statistic fairly frequently. And a CB Insights analysis of 101 startups where they asked the business founders what the reason for failure was. The number one reason for failure is no market need, right? So no one wants to buy what you're selling. And that was the reason why 42% of all new businesses failed or were caused to pivot and shift the focus of their products and services, either what they were delivering or who they were selling it to. And so one of the reasons for small business failure is a failure to market and grow big enough, grow a big enough audience and convert them into buyers of their services. So the number one reason why your marketing and messaging isn't landing is that your avatar isn't working. You're marketing to an avatar. So I hear it all the time in my first conversations with people, or even some of my clients. They'll say my client avatar is, or my ideal client persona is, and it's starting to make my skin crawl, right? Just a little bit, because I know what's coming next, right? It usually starts with a woman or a man, some gender of a certain age in a certain industry or a certain job role of a certain race or level of education. And the reason why these client avatars rarely work in your marketing is because they're based on demographics and not psychographics, right? So psychographics are mostly emotional, right? So they're how people connect with needs, desires. So they're based on thoughts, needs, desires, beliefs, attitudes, and emotions of real people. And the problem is real people don't buy your services based on their sexual orientation, the color of their skin, where they live, or because they have a particular interest, education, or have some career role. People buy based on emotion. They buy based on pain and their desire to make that pain go away, a desire to achieve a particular goal, a frustration with a current situation, a fear of the future, and things that they really want for their lives or their careers that they're not able to solve on their own. So buyers are complex, emotional, and psychological beings. They are composites of their belief systems, their motivators, their triggers, and their fight or flight responses. They have patterns. They have developed a history. So there's no such thing as a homogeneous demographic when it comes to selling your services. And when you market to an avatar, you're wasting time and money, which is why in the Launch Lab, one of the very first things we do together is to get clear on who your ideal buyer is. So one client in the Launch Lab currently is a leadership coach. And she was targeting African-American women leaders. And her realization after doing her research, her ideal client research, was that my market isn't just African-American women. And she started to build out this psychographic profile where color was not a determining factor. What's most important is that her client is interested in not only advancing her skills, but she's also willing to invest in herself. And as we develop more diversity in our client base, as we develop more diversity in our organizations, that her ideal client is much more diverse than just African-American women. But because of her own story, because of her own background and her own journey, it's highly likely that the majority of her clients may be women of African-American descent. But it's not the determining factor, and certainly it's not the thing that she's only marketing to. So another client in the Launch Lab is creating programs for Latinas on the rise. And what she found that there were many white women willing to engage in the conversation about diversity. What she found, because she's an in-demand expert in diversity, equity, and inclusion, what she's finding is not everyone who's investing in DEI initiatives is an ideal client. Many aren't willing to invest in what needs to happen in order for change to be realized in their organizations. They just want the label. They just want the label that they have a DEI initiative in place. So the most important first step for you, my friend, in launching your business is to be sure you have demand from the right people and understand where that demand is coming from to determine what makes those people the same. And truthfully, this is something that you should continually fine-tune over time. I am still fine-tuning my ideal client, and I have, over the last 9 years, I have pivoted my business 2 or 3 times. And even now, as I work with people one-to-one or I work with clients in the Launch Lab, I'm continuing to realize, who are the people who get the most out of the Launch Lab experience? Who are the ones that implement what we teach in the Launch Lab? And who are the ones that have the results and are the ones that get the impact that I want to make through my work? Because if I'm not successful helping people to launch satisfactory businesses, to replace their corporate paycheck, to make an impact with their work, then I'm not fulfilling my mission and what turns me on about being a coach to new women business leaders. So the most important first step is to be sure you have that demand. And the biggest mistake that you can make is to start running Facebook ads or giving talks to a target demographic and wasting a ton of time and money not getting any clients. So can somebody give me an amen? The story goes something like this. And maybe you can see yourself in this too. So my heart goes out to you, and no judgment, my friend. You have a big idea that you'll be a great leadership executive or health coach, you name your category. You get your certification from a prestigious coaching academy. You create your LLC or you incorporate your business. You hire a designer to do your logo. You build a website and share your story about why you decided to launch this business and what your many credentials are in doing so. You knock on doors for some lucrative corporate contracts. You submit proposals, or you spend your time at networking events to connect to potential private clients. And although everyone is nice and friendly, and they're so happy to meet you and glad to know what you're doing, no one is responding to your offers. And you quickly realize at this pace, you're going to go broke fast, and maybe it's time to start looking for a job. So if you bought the promise, the fake promise that if you build it, they will come, it's simply not true. And truthfully, it really pisses me off that there are so many cookie cutter courses, B schools out there, many coaches, many programs that will be happy to take your credit card on the promise that if you build it, they will come. And it's simply not true. So if that's you, you now have a choice in this conversation. You can reach out to me on any number of platforms, DM me on Instagram, join the Life After Corporate Facebook group, send me a message there, and let's get you into the Launch Lab so that you can start making money with your business idea and figure out who your ideal buyer is so that you can start having conversations that really resonate and get people to raise their hands to say, hey, that's me, and, pay your invoice or hand over their credit card to work with you. Or you can quit this podcast now and contact Nicole Case, one of my clients who's an excellent career coach. Get support in your next career search. And you can hear Nicole in episode number 23. So stop beating your head against the wall if you built it and no one came and you're hearing crickets. If you're worried about your financial future and you don't have that cushion, sometimes you need to just go get a job and have your new job be the first investor in your new business. So that's one way to look at it. Or if you do have a cushion and you can survive the next 3 to 6 months and not burn through your savings, then join me in the Launch Lab. Let's work together and get this straight. So let's drop those bad habits that are causing you to question why you left the safety of the corporate world to begin with and get serious about making money with your business. Join me on Clubhouse for an in-depth conversation about what it will take for you to succeed. It's true. Coaching is exploding. The estimated market size of the coaching industry is more than $15 billion. So that's a 2019 statistic that's probably bigger now. 7.5 billion of that was in the US alone, and the expected market value is expected to reach $20 billion by 2022. And according to PwC, the coaching industry was the second fastest growing sector in the market. Now, that represents more than 5 million coaches out there, and that's not including you consultants. Yet with the right focus and the right message, the right value proposition, there's plenty for everyone. The good news is coaching is a $15 plus billion business. The bad news is coaching is a $15 plus billion business. So in order to succeed, in order for your ideal clients to meet you, and trust me, they are searching for you, my friend. It's up to you to get clear on who you're speaking to, who you're marketing to, so that they can find you. And remember that authenticity sells. You and your ideal client are linked. Your journey, your experiences are tied to who you serve. If you're listening to Life After Corporate, it's because you either have a Life After Corporate story or you want to have a Life After Corporate story. So as you connect to your ideal clients, they will resonate with your why for starting your business. Your vision, the impact that you want to have with your work will all resonate with your ideal buyers, as well as your ability to deeply understand their frustrations and motivations and provide them with relevant insights and services to help them get to where they want to go. And so I want you to ditch your avatar, my friend. Forget about the website and the fancy logo. You can launch a business as a sole proprietor, although, if you want that protection of the LLC, that's great. The first thing you need is a client. So please come visit me in the Facebook group or on Clubhouse. Find me at Deb Boulanger, which is one word. Follow me, get alerts for when we're going live, and get in on the conversation. I would love to meet you in person. And if you have questions about this particular podcast episode or how you find your ideal client, you can ask them there, or hop on over to the Life After Corporate Facebook group and send me a DM or post in the live feed. And I promise I will answer your question. So that's it for now, my friend. See you next time. Thanks for listening, my friend. If you enjoyed this show, please head over to iTunes and subscribe and leave us a review. And be sure to hop over to the Life After Corporate Facebook group and join other growing entrepreneurs to get weekly tips on how to create more money and meaning doing work you love.